Hello, hello, hello. How you guys doing? It is so good to see each of you. I know it's been a little while. It's been a little while. And so I am giving you a few moments. Like I gave you a 5-minute warning. Now I'm giving you a few moments. Let's see if we can get this a little better, a little more light. Trying to give you all the lights. Sitting right under some really nice light. We're just here. Yes, I got a haircut. Y'all see that? It's sharp. Haircut. New color. All things new, right? All things new. It's new November. All right. New November. Let me know. Comment. Let me know you are here and that you have joined the live. I have my phone so that I can fully comment to you. I'm waiting. Why isn't it? Yep, it's showing me. Yay! Yay! So I am not going to belabor the point because, one, I am not usually live on a Wednesday, and number two, it's been some time. So y'all are just going to see this live and be like, wait, she back. And that's what we are talking about. I am, in fact, back. So we're back. And yes, you will see me tomorrow, bright and early at noon. You will see me Friday, bright and early at noon. Midday Manna is back like we never left. Yay! What did y'all do with your break? How did God move in the break? Because boy, do I have some updates for you. You want to be here tomorrow to just hear what God has done in the break, because some stuff happened in the break, guys. Some pretty amazing stuff. I'm really excited. However, that is not why we are here today. I don't know who is going to watch this broadcast. I don't know who needs this broadcast, but I literally woke up this morning with this feeling of, okay, I need to go live. And then I was like, wait, is it Wednesday? Is it time to go live already? And then I realized, no, today's Tuesday. You don't even go live on Tuesday. And I was like, then it's just me not knowing my days, whatever. Your vacation got too good to you. So, it is what it is. And then, but then later on this morning, I go and I sit down at my computer and I start setting up the computer like I'm going live. And I'm like, but you're not. And so I'm like, all right, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep tracking with it. We're going to see what happens. And then, no joke, my sister cousin calls me and she was like, are you going live? I was like, wait, what? She was like, I was like, no, but I feel like I should. And so here I am, because apparently I need to tell you guys something today. And then we're gonna move forward. So so that's why I'm live. I'm live as always in obedience, because somebody needs to hear this. So before I go any further, I need to give y'all a shameless plug. Pierre Quinn. Do you know who that is? Pierre Quinn. If you do not know who Pierre Quinn is, Google him. He is here on Facebook. He is on LinkedIn quite frequently. He is on YouTube. Pierre Quinn is doing a 4 Days to Clarity series. 4 Days to Clarity. If you work in an organization, if you are in management in your organization, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a leader, because and I say if you are a leader, knowing that everyone's a leader, because leadership is merely influence. So if you have influence over people, you are in a position of leadership. And so you will greatly benefit from these 4 days of clarity that Pierre is doing. And so here's what happened, guys. I watched last night and it was just really, really amazing. So I'm encouraging you, 9:30, go on, find him, join his live. You will be absolutely blessed. But what he did last night was he appealed to the logician in me. Like, I love logic. I love equations. I love this plus this equals this and this and this. And it's just beautiful to me that I know that I can have expected outcomes. I'm not a mathematician, right? Because, you get really deep into math and you learn that everything is fluid, because 1 + 1 is 1 unless one ain't really one. And that's why, like, I believe math is one of the realms of God, literally, because, like, the deeper you get into math and into science, the more there are more questions than there are answers. And that's why the deeper you get into math, you have theories, because nothing is provable. Logic, on the other hand, is provable and factual. So, my new book. Hey, that happened while we were on break, guys. I released a new book. So my new book is about faith. And in the new book, I talk about logic. When you are taking the LSAT, which I have, one of the things they test is your logic ability. And logic games literally turn, and I say it this way, logic turns words into math. But what it becomes is it's based on facts. And so you divide your statements into statements that are true and statements that are false. And if this statement is true, as in it must be true for everything else that follows to happen, then you can't change this is the statement upon which not everything else is based, and it must be true. Then these things can change, but this won't. And so I talked about this idea then that when we go to God, we need to accept God's word, the things he says to us, as these authorities that must be true. So, for example, we've been on a home buying journey. We've been trying to do some stuff. And God told us, if you have me, you have all that you need. And you would think, like, girl, he told that to everybody. That's Psalms 23. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. Excuse me. And that is true. That is the promise God has made to everyone, that the Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. And that is true. However, he made it personal to us, because so often we feel like we didn't have the right network. We may not have, perfect credit. Unfortunately, we aren't the 800 credit score people, And so, and I do know people with 800 plus credit scores. Let's be clear. We're just not there yet. And so, we don't have the perfect, we exist honestly on a single income, for the most part, with the exception of the things that my businesses and my books and stuff bring in. But literally, we budget based on a single income, because mine is so fluid. And so when you do things like that, like, it just looks different. And so we've always been like, well, maybe. And so we are consistently out here trying to finagle. And God's like, I don't need your help. I don't need you to finagle anything. All you need is to trust me. And so there comes to a moment in your faith journey, right, where you have to take this word that God said. In our case, the word that he told us was, all you need is me. You don't need a network. You don't need this. You don't need that. All you need is me. And so then when confronted with things that were contrary to this word here that God spoke to us, it is then that we take it and we make this word the authority. And it's like, it must be true. So if this must be true, then this is false. So, for example, we're going and we're looking for this house, and it's outside. It's like, we're putting in offers and our offers are not accepted. And so it's like, well, maybe we don't have the right this. Well, that's not true, because what God says, we have God. So if we needed this thing, we would have it. That's logic. Logic says, if this must be true, then everything else is fluid and probably false, because this cannot change. Anyway, so I love logic. I went off on a whole tangent, and I'm going to rein it in a second. But follow me, track with me. I love logic. And so, but what Pierre did last night was he broke down courage. And you're like, girl, what? Yes, that man broke down courage and turned courage into an equation. At least in my head, he did. Because he started at this place where courage begins. So you have this issue. You have an issue and you are trying to solve the issue. And to solve it, it requires you to do what? Be courageous. So you have this issue. And the first thing you have to start with is a belief. So you believe that if you do this, or you believe X, Y, Z. So you believe this, and this is your must be true. Then you add to your belief value. So I believe that I can be successful. I believe that I can change what it means to have my last name. I believe I'm going to leave a lasting legacy. So that is what I believe. To that belief, we're going to add one of the things I value. What I value is authenticity, right? So my belief plus my authenticity, then I take those things and I add them. And he did something amazing, because he started with, you have belief, and to your belief you add your values, right? And then he said something. He said, then the multiplier becomes your next right action. Because when you have belief and you add to the belief your value, and then you multiply those things by taking next right action, you have then arrived at the place of courage. Because you then have these courage incidents where this next right action followed by the next right action. And what are you doing? You're building confidence. And so I was like, man, that's absolutely amazing. Amazing. And so I was like that. And so I went to bed, I mulled over it, and I woke up this morning and I was like, God, what's my word for today? And he was like, kinetic. And this is why we're here. And this is what I believe what God wants to talk to us about. God said the word for the day, for the month, whatever you want to call it, or for this next season, the word is kinetic. And what is kinetic? What does kinetic mean? Kinetic is an adjective, okay? The word kinetic is an adjective, as in it describes a person, place, or thing. That's what adjectives do. But kinetic means it's relating to or resulting from motion. I'm going to say that again. Kinetic means relating to or resulting from motion. And you're like, say what? And I'm typing it in the comments. Relating to or resulting from motion. Right? And you're like, ooh, wait. And I'm like, yes. And I posted it there for you. And we're gonna show that comment there so that those who are seeing, because if you can see it, you can see that the description is, and we're talking about things being kinetic, resulting from motion. And we talked about courage. And as I was getting ready for this broadcast, I was like, well, God, what does this have to do with anything? And God started to show me that so many biblical principles are based on our motion or the lack thereof. Your courage, if it is predicated as I gave you Pierre Quinn's definition, where it is your belief plus your value multiplied by your next right action, that action is your movement. So your courage becomes kinetic, right? It's a process. It's one move to another move to another move. Then I believe faith is also kinetic, because you take what? A step of faith. That is why the Bible talks about walking by faith and not by sight. The Christian journey in and of itself is likened to a race, which is what? A movement. I am part of a denomination by choice that we go back and forth because we talk about whether we are a denomination or we are a movement. Because movement, means means that there is no stagnation, because stagnation breeds death. And so I want to encourage you, don't stagnate. Don't stagnate. Be kinetic. So stagnation is the enemy. Kineticism is progress. And so I want you today to think about where you are. Think about your future. Think about the things you want to accomplish as you go into your review of this year. Like, my review started back in the month of October, actually coming down to to September, when we were talking about Rosh Hashanah, and I started talking to you about examining where you are and all of this stuff. And I am telling you, like, the word for this season, and I don't even know how long the season is. It could be the decade, it could be the month, it could be the year. Hey, Kwani, hey, Jamie, thank you guys for joining me live. But the word that God gave me today was kinetic. And as you see me here, I have it there. It means relating to or resulting from your motion. So the things that you will see, the things that you will accomplish will be related to or result from your motion. So gosh, there's so many things that it's just so many things that are tying together. But this is only going to be about 20 minutes. I'm about to go off, but I want you to think back, if you've been tracking with me, to a couple of months ago now, and we did this midday manna, and it was like it was time to move, because we were at the Red Sea. First we were at Carmel, and then we got to the Red Sea, and then we were at and we were crossing the Jordan, and we have talked about that. So many of you have been in seasons where you were here and you were there and you were stopped, or you felt like there was no progress, or you've been waiting on God for a long time for certain things. And I am here to tell you right now that from here on out, the results you see will be related to or result from the motions you take now. It's all about the moves you're making. Your future is predicated on the moves you're making now. Your success is predicated on the moves you're making now. The way you relating to, like the circles you need to engage in, the spaces that you need yourselves in they should be related to the moves you're making. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you need to go into circles that relate to this movement that you are trying to. If you're trying to be a homeowner, if you're whatever goal you're trying to meet, whatever you're trying to do, that you must make sure that they relate to or result from the movements. And those movements, guys, those movements should be, again, because we started at this place of logic, those movements should be predicated on a word that God has spoken to you. Because then it goes from, hey, this is nice, to must be true. The Bible says, Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, as in must be true. There is no truth apart from him and the light. So what God has done is that he has shown the way. Why would he show you a way and light your path if you were supposed to stand still on it? No, it is all about your movement. And in this coming season, your movements matter. The things that you relate to, they must not counteract your movement. And so that's all I came on to tell you today. Kenetic. Kineticism. Go and examine your life. And if there is no motion, no movement, then that's probably not for you. And if by chance you have been in a place of a lack of movement, join me tomorrow where we're going to talk about the difference between be still and stand still. I hope you have a wonderful day. I thank you so much. So much. Yes, Jamie, miracles happen when you move. Enlarge our territories and give us access to get there. Absolutely. Thank you, Kwani. I am happy that this was so good to you. Yay. But I am telling you guys, that word was just so clear, kinetic. It's relating to and resulting from motion, movement, move. So if you've been standing still, move. If you were wondering what to do, move. Take the next right action. If you were waiting for permission, consider this it. Move. 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 Bye-bye.